Rest doesn't feel hard because you're lazy. It feels hard because your nervous system thinks rest means danger. Today, I'm explaining why guilt shows up the second you try to rest, why your body won't let you relax, even when you're exhausted, and why just take a break is advice that doesn't work when your nervous system is stuck in hypervigilance mode. Because here's the truth. If you grew up having to earn safety, your body learned that rest is a luxury you can't afford. First, what rest guilt actually is. I know it's probably a new term, rest guilt, and why it's not about laziness. It's about nervous system that learned stillness means vulnerability. The second thing we're going to cover is why, as highly sensitive people or HSPs, why we struggle with even more, why your body scans for threats even when you're trying to relax, and why that's not a personality flaw. It's actually physiology. The third thing I'm going to cover today is why rest guilt is costing you right now. Not why, what it's costing you right now. The burnout, the breakdown that's coming. And I want to say the way your body is begging you to stop, but you won't listen to it. And at the end, I'm giving you one practice that's going to feel impossible. You're going to rest without earning it first. And you're going to teach your body that stillness doesn't equal danger. So if you feel guilty every time you sit down, if rest feels like something you have to deserve, this video is for you today. So let's dive right into it. And quick thing before we dive in, I want to let you guys know my name is Sly. I'm a pediatric registered nurse. I've been in the medical field for the last 30 years. I am a highly sensitive person and someone who has had to relearn that rest isn't something you earn. This channel is where I break down nervous system healing for highly sensitive people. I use actual medical knowledge from my experience and not just fluff. And I'm going to post every single day because healing happens in small doses. And that's why you probably wonder, why is she here on every day? I'm here every day because even for me in my healing journey, I heal in small doses as a highly sensitive person because we don't want to overwhelm the nervous system more than it's already overwhelmed. So I'm gonna come on here every day, video, and if the last video on people pleasing that we talked about, and we talked about, I have two videos before these where the one we talked about was people pleasing, followed by perfectionism. If those hit home, I want you to subscribe right now because tomorrow I'm going to be talking about hypervigilance, why you can't sleep even when you're exhausted. And that one, it's going to explain why rest feels impossible in the first place. All right. So let's talk about why doing nothing feels dangerous. So I'm going to dive right into lesson number one, and that's rest guilt. Your brain telling you that rest guilt means is survival programming. Okay, so first, let's define what rest guilt actually is. Because most people think it's about being a type A, about being driven, about having a strong work ethic. Nope, that's not it. Rest guilt is what happens when your nervous system learned that stillness equals vulnerability. Here's the physiology part of it. When you were young, rest wasn't safe, right? Maybe because if you weren't useful, you were not valued by your family. Maybe because stillness meant you were available for emotional labor. And again, maybe because letting your guard down meant something bad could happen to you. So your younger self right now needs to be hearing this episode. It's for you, and invite your younger self next to you because little Sly is right here invisibly next to me. So this is what happened when you were young. Your brain learned this, that productivity equals safety, rest equals danger. Now, that pattern wired itself into your autonomic nervous system, the part that operates below conscious thought. So now that you're older, decades later, when you try to rest, your body floods you with anxiety. It tells you something's wrong, that you're forgetting something, that you should be doing something. Excuse me. Not because you're lazy, but because you don't deserve rest. Because your nervous system still thinks that if you're not in motion, then you're in danger. Here's the trap for us highly sensitive people. You can't rest when your body thinks rest will get you hurt, right? So you stay busy, you stay productive, you stay useful, because that's the only way your nervous system knows how to feel safe. That's what you learned from a young age. But here's what nobody tells you. Chronic productivity isn't ambition. It's just straight up survival mode. Chronic productivity is straight up survival mode. So you being in survival mode is going to kill you. Rest is very, very important. As we had talked about in previous episodes about exhaustion, and now here we're a little bit more deeper into rest. Okay, so that's what rest guilt is. But here's why highly sensitive people get hit even harder by this, which brings me to our lesson number 2. Why highly sensitive people cannot turn off. The second thing is, highly sensitive people, we don't just struggle with rest guilt, we struggle with rest, period. And here's why. So our nervous systems are always scanning, always scanning. Even when we're trying to relax. I know I do that. This is something I'm trying to retrain myself because I'm always doing that. Even when you're resting, you're still picking up on little sounds. You're picking up on the lights. Especially fluorescent lights, they're so triggering to, at least for me. You're picking up on energy shifts, emotional undercurrents. That's my favorite one, trying to decipher what somebody's feeling, what they're thinking, and how they're acting. So our brains are processing data at a level most people don't even register. We're so hypervigilant, which means rest for us isn't just, oh, stop working. It's turn off a system that doesn't have an off switch. And that can be very exhausting. So you sit down to rest, and immediately your brain is like, but did you respond to that email? That is so me. My husband knows I'm always doing this. Did you forget something? Is someone upset with you? What's that noise? Why does the room feel so tense? And oh my gosh, bless my heart. I I I struggle with all those three things that I just mentioned. My husband would attest to that because it's like, Sly, you need to relax, and all that pressure you're putting on is only you. You answer to yourself. So please take some time and rest. And you can't just turn it off. You can't just be still because your body is still working, even when you're not. And here's what compounds all of it. We also feel guilty about feeling guilty. I'll say it louder for the people in the back. We also feel guilty for feeling guilty. For example, like, you should rest. You know you're tired. And you can feel it. You're actually not just tired, you are exhausted, but you feel guilty for being tired. That's me all day. And then you feel guilty for feeling guilty. And now you're in a shame spiral instead of resting. Oh my God. I speak these things. As I've been telling you guys, I'm getting comfortable speaking on camera and saying my feelings and what I've been going through behind my words, hiding behind my words. But now that I'm on camera, when I say it out loud and I replay it real quickly, I'm like, that is so me. So I'm hoping by me sharing, it's helping give language to maybe things that you didn't know. And I don't want you to give up. You just follow the breadcrumbs that I leave you because they're going to help you with your healing journey. So, anyway, getting back to it. So, you give up, you get back to work because at least productivity doesn't come with guilt, because then you feel like you're doing something, right? Then you're not resting. Because when you rest, you feel guilty, you get into spiral, and you're feeling shame. Here's the cost. Because rest guilt isn't just uncomfortable for us, it's actively destroying you, which leads me to lesson number 3. What rest guilt costs you now. So let's talk about what it's costing you. Number 1, burnout is coming. You can't run on empty forever. Your body is keeping score. And when it's done asking nicely, you know what it's going to do? It's going to force you to rest. And you know how it does it? Through illness, through breakdown, and through collapse. That's not a threat. That's straight physiology. Takes me to number 2. You're teaching your kids this pattern. As the adult, if you have children or if you're around children, they're always watching us. And they're learning that rest is something you earn, that productivity equals worth, that being tired isn't good enough, a reason to stop. You know what's going to happen to those children in 20 years from now? They'll be sitting on someone's couch saying the same thing you're saying. I don't know how to rest. Takes me to point number 3. You're missing your life. You are missing out on your life. This is the big one. You're so busy being productive that you're not actually living. You're being productive that you're not actually living at all. You are not present. You're not enjoying anything. You are just moving. And you are moving from task to task to task, from obligation to obligation to obligation. This obligation to that obligation. And one day, you're going to look back and realize you were so busy earning rest that you never actually rested. And you can't get that time back. You cannot get the time back. So now you're wondering, okay, Sly, so what do I do now? How do you actually start breaking this pattern? Let me give you a tool, as I always do every day. I want to give you a tool. Here's your practice this week. And I know I always say this, it's going to feel wrong, but I want you to just take 10 minutes and just rest without earning it. Just try. Start with 10 minutes and you can always build on it. Not after you finish your to-do list, not after you've been productive enough, not after you've deserved it. How about, please, my fellow deep feeler, just rest right now because you're a human who needs to rest. That's it. No other explanations behind it. How about I give you an even better tool? We all have smartphones. Set a 10-minute timer, just 10 minutes. Sit somewhere comfortable, no phone, no book, no productive activity. And that's something I learned from my husband. and it's we call it the non-sleep deep rest. You just sit for 10 minutes, set the timer, and just exist. I've been practicing that and I've been finding it very helpful. It helps calm my hypervigilant brain down. And here's what's going to happen. Your nervous system is going to panic. It's going to tell you this is wrong, that you're forgetting something, that you should be doing something. Trust me, no. When what you're going to say out loud, I am allowed to rest. Rest is not a reward, rest is a requirement. And I recently learned this from taking a trip to Bali last year for my birthday. And I'll put a link to that episode in the bottom so that you guys can watch and see the lessons that I learned. And when you set that timer, you're going to sit there the whole 10 minutes and do absolutely nothing. I always make fun by saying that I want to be a useless goat. Be a useless goat and do absolutely nothing. Or you can also be, as one of my beautiful friends likes to say, be as useless as an ashtray sitting on a motorcycle. You be a useless goat or be an ashtray on a motorcycle because, obviously the ashtray is not going to stay. But here's what your body needs to learn. Rest is not dangerous. Stillness is not vulnerability. You are allowed to exist without being useful. Now, will this feel impossible? Of course, yes, it will feel impossible. Will your productivity guilt scream at you? Absolutely. Will you want to quit at minute 3? Probably, but don't. Remember what Sly said. Sit through it. Let your body remember what it feels to just be. Okay? Sly said, I need to rest for 10 minutes. Set the timer. You'll notice a big difference. No phone, no book, no phone, nothing. Just rest. Just be with yourself. That's how you start breaking the pattern. Excuse me. So, all right. That's what rest feels like. That's why rest feels like danger. And that's what's happening in your nervous system because what is going on is that your nervous system is so used to being hypervigilant and it needs the pattern interrupted. As I said, that's why rest feels like danger and that's what's happening in your nervous system. And that's what you can start doing about it. And I'm hoping me sharing these lessons and tools with you guys, it's really helping you guys because rest is so important because if you go from exhaustion and then you don't rest. And as I said, your body's just going to remind you with illness. And we don't want that. As I said, so rest will feel like it's dangerous, but you need to rest. And I'm going to put the episodes in the link in the description below. As I said, I'm getting used to being on camera. All right. I'm being on camera and sometimes I forget my words. But as I said, rest is going to feel dangerous, but it's important for you to continue to just take care of yourself and rest. If this helped you, I want you to please subscribe right now because tomorrow's video, it's a missing puzzle to this conversation. Yes. So tomorrow I'm going to be talking about hypervigilance. Yes, it came back to me. Hypervigilance. Why you can't sleep even when you're exhausted. Why your brain won't also turn off at 2 a.m. As you can guys see me formulating my thoughts live as I'm getting used to being on camera. So your brain will not turn off at 2 a.m. and why rest feels impossible in the first place. So if today's video on rest guilt resonated, I think tomorrow is just going to blow your mind. And because I'm going to explain why your body won't let you rest, the physiology behind it, and the nervous system mechanics. I enjoy talking about things and the nervous system and how it works. And because I've been doing this healing journey for a while now, I'm I am actually glad that I'm sharing this stuff on camera and showing my face. And yeah, so I want you to subscribe, hit the notification bell because these videos build on each other. And if you're watching them out of order, you're missing the full picture. Please watch them in order. I have the playlist, and you can always start from the first one, and each one builds onto the next one. I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for doing this work with me. You are allowed to rest. You always were. Your body just forgot. How about we teach our bodies to remember? Thank you for doing this work with me. I want you to remember you are doing better than you think. And I will see you tomorrow. Thank you.